Get Warrior Tough, Mental Training 101 with Andrew Wittman on 105.5 The Roar. Back to Andrew Wittman.
All right. Here we go again. We are back. If you want to get in on the Twitter conversation, use the hashtag GetWarriorTough. Go check us out at the website, getwarriortough.com. Go to the Start Now box, fill in your name and email address, subscribe to the newsletter. Go like the YouTube channel, subscribe to that, like the Facebook page, connect with Dutch and I on LinkedIn. Find a handle and get hooked in. And I'm telling you that your life will get exponentially better. And I know that sounds like it's a big promise to make, but we always under-promise and over-deliver. If not, then we're not who we say we are.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to make a request for anybody out there that's thinking about joining the Phalanx. I want you, if you have a lot on your mind, a lot on your heart, a lot on your plate, I want to see you. I want to talk to you. I want to be a part of your solutions. I want to be a part of your development. And the thing that's good for me is that when I've heard a lot of different situations. I've been a part of a lot of different solutions for myself and with others and for others. And I've learned from those things. So as you enter the Phalanx, you are making us better as well, because your experiences is going to make us become better coaches. So there are a million different things going on out. There's an infinite number of situations going out there as far as the packaging of the situations. Now, it's true that they all boil down to a certain number, a small group of things, but the experiences that you guys bring to the table not only going to help you and me, but it's also going to help other people that are on the call.
Right.
So you have to, I think we do, and I've said this before, we have a responsibility as members of this community, this world community, to help our fellow man. So being a part of this community, being a part of this group, the Phalanx, will benefit you, it'll benefit us, and it'll benefit others. So I want to encourage any and everyone to get involved with the Phalanx, and I look forward to hearing what's going on in your life, hearing about your goals, your vision, hearing about your past accomplishments, your past failures, your present failures. I'm interested in hearing all that so we can package it, get you a game plan together so we can all move forward together.
Absolutely. And this is the beauty of what we're creating here with the Phalanx. It's a community of folks that will stand. That's why we call it the Phalanx. We're going to stand shoulder to shoulder like the Spartans of 300 movie fame. We're going to protect each other. Our shields are going to protect each other. We're going to fight for each other. Man, if you're going through something hard, we will not cut and run. Dutch and I and the members of the Phalanx, we will not leave you in a fight. We will not leave you in a fight. If you are fighting whatever it is, and I mean, I've run the gamut of like divorce or stage 4 cancer or anything in between, we will not leave you alone. We are going to be with you and walk you through the whole process. And we've done this for a lot of people, man. We've done it for a lot of people, and we want to continue to do it. We want to do it for you. And what we're doing is creating a community of like-minded individuals that all of us, and I just got to use this terminology, that we're going to love and provoke one another to the next level.
Yeah, and this is completely real, completely possible. It's been done as a track record. All we need is you, and we need to encourage you. We need a you that's willing to buy in and buy in for yourself, not buy in for just me, but for yourself. Because I'm telling you, as Andrew mentioned earlier, I went through it, and I was fascinated by all the things I learned about myself. I was fascinated by the power that I had going through it, and now as I enter different things, different phases of my life, different challenges, it's I don't use words like challenge anymore. It's something that I'm going through, and I completely know that I'm getting through it. It's not something where I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. I have a plan.
Right, not a question. Right,
absolutely. I have a mode of operations. I have I have everything that I need to get through anything.
Absolutely, and then you've got the emotional support. You've got the process support. Not with us, like you said, it's other members of the Phalanx, and we'll man, it's so good to be part of that kind of community. All right, Dutch, I have here from Forbes the breakdown of all the value of the NFL teams. And then that got me curious, so I pulled out like the first, top 25 college football programs and what their value is. This is just kind of mind-blowing. When I'm looking at this, I think, well, it ain't about winning, man. If you're making this kind of money, you don't even care if you win or not. We got the Dallas Cowboys are at the top of this thing, worth $4 billion. That's what they're worth, $4 billion. The Patriots are worth 3.2, and the Washington Redskins are number 3 at $2.85 billion. So what do we care if we win or not, man? We're worth $3 billion.
You know what? It shows. It shows in some of those senses. You know, it's funny. You mentioned it early off the air. Dallas hadn't won anything in 20 years. The Redskins hadn't won anything in who knows. I can't even count that high.
Right.
But they continue to have the value and hold the value that they hold. And these owners have no obligation to do anything other than make more money. And I mean, think about it. When you're the sole proprietor of something, and I think there's only one team in the NFL that's not a sole proprietorship, right?
Yeah, well, that's the Packers, right? They're shareholder owned.
Shareholders.
Yeah.
You can pretty much do what you want, when you want, how you want, because you're only accountable to yourself. My owner, Daniel Snyder of my Washington Redskins, isn't held accountable by anyone. I mean, no matter how much I complain, no matter how much the fan base complains, no matter how much the players complain, it is his deal. And he's he's the owner of a product that's worth almost, was it almost $4 billion?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, so why, there's no incentive to do it. Now, you got Robert Kraft on the Patriots. Okay, so they're in the top 3. He's $3.2 billion. But they were just a little junky, AFC, little, I mean, they were not a huge market. They were just like a blue-collar team. They didn't ever win anything until he took over. And so winning had to be something to how to create value. They had to win in order to create value, and that's why, they do what they do. But, I mean, there's New York Giants is number 4, and the Jets is number 6. You're just resting on the fact that you got huge market shares. This is just, we got a volume number of fans, so, whatever. We don't care.
Now, I do have respect for the Patriots because I think they have worked to earn that value. I think they have, not only just because they're winning, but one of the things is public how these organizations operate. My Washington Redskins operate in chaos.
Yes, they do.
The Patriots, they operate in a fashion that may not be popular to the players because they're not just handing out money to everybody and wasting a bunch of money, i.e. my Washington Redskins. They actually have a functional organization that's trying to do things from a business standpoint. We're not talking about...
No, it is business. I mean, and they'll have... I mean, and listen, whether you love Tom Brady or you hate him, the dude takes pay cuts and restructures all the time in order to keep under the salary cap. He's not the highest paid quarterback.
And he's going to get his. I know there are people out there that may think, well, they're cheating, they're doing this. Now, we got to be honest. The Patriots aren't doing anything that anyone else aren't trying to do. Everyone's trying to get that edge. Right. Everyone's trying to find a way to build a better product. So they're not. So you can package it any way you want, call them cheaters or what. But we're talking about from a business standpoint. We're talking about dollars and cents. They have earned their place. A lot of those play. And then the Giants. I give the Giants credit too. You said that. I think that's a very strong functional organization from a dollars and cents standpoint. Then you have a couple of them, the New York Jets that you mentioned, that are in there that are products of their location. I think the Redskins are product of their location. So they're benefiting. I think Houston was in the top 10.
Houston, that's a huge money city, man. I mean, it's just huge money city, which I don't even get. Because have you been to Houston, Dutch? Because when you go down to Houston, I'm just like, it's a dump, man. I mean, you look at their downtown, it hasn't been revitalized since, like, the Astrodome, man. I mean, I think they just finally plowed that thing down. But you go downtown and you're like, really? This is all the big oil money? Where is it? Because they don't – and, again, they don't need to do it because they got huge money. They don't need, like, cultural – I mean, you go to Austin is way nicer. Dallas is way nicer. Houston's got tons of money, but they don't care.
So you have these ownership groups who they really have no incentive to really perform on the field when they're raking in the money hand over fist just by being a part of the team, being a part of the NFL. And as long as it works that way, we're always going to have teams that are just kind of getting by.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, and the college end of it, Ohio State this year, after they won the first playoff, they're now worth $1.12 billion. So, the Buffalo Bills is the lowest valued team in the NFL. It's 1.4. Ohio State, just their football program, the football program is rated at 1.12 billion.
Now, are there multiple Big Ten schools in the top 10?
Let's see. Michigan's there. Michigan's number 2 at $1 billion. It's $1 billion. The Michigan program, and they ain't won anything since App State kicked their butt, man.
Yeah.
Texas is worth $1 billion. They haven't won it. That's hilarious, that whole thing. I mean, they just got rid of the athletic director. I mean, Charlie better be watching out. He's next, man. I bet they're kicking themselves for getting rid of Mac.
Yeah. The Big Ten schools from a fan base standpoint. I mean, here at Penn State, I think we have almost 50,000 students or something like that, counting graduate school.
Yeah, Penn State's on the list. They're $520 million, and they bring in $83 million a year. $83 million a year.
There should be a few Big Ten schools just based on the attendance alone, because you're talking about the number of people that are giving back. Texas is always going to be up there. They have money that's going to always help them be sustained, and you're going to have some of the usual suspects up there. But I'm not surprised that Ohio State's up there and Michigan's up there.
It's number 1, 2. Texas is 3. Notre Dame is 4 at $936 million. Florida is 5 at $815 million. Oklahoma is 6 at $776 million, and then Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Nebraska, Penn State. That's your top 10, 11.
So you got your old money in there.
Yeah.
You know, you got the Alabamas, the Georgias, the LSUs. There's a bunch of old money in there. So Florida, some of your football factories, or used to be football factories in Florida's case.
Yeah. Trying to get it back, trying to get the magic back. They got two Alabama offensive coordinators down there.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Now we mentioned Florida. I want to get on this. I want to go on a tangent here. The coach yelling at the Taylor kid for doing a throat slashing gesture.
Yeah.
Give me your take on that.
Yeah. And I heard the dad hear it in real time. I think he was on Le Batard show or whatever. The dad never heard the audio, and then he was like, "You're questioning my son's manhood. Don't do that, man."
Yeah. And I think he did say, "I'm going to stay out of it." I've been there.
He did say that, but I mean, but as a dad, he's like, it was funny to get the raw. I don't want to say funny, but it was interesting to get the raw. Don't question my son's manhood. Now I'll tell you, my sons are about to go to the Citadel. My oldest one's going down for his pre-knob visit here in a couple weeks, and Jack will be going, in a couple years. And I know they're going to get ripped into and all that stuff. Good, they need to, man. That's why I want you, because it's desirable difficulty is what we call it in psychology. I need you to get a thick skin and know that, that stuff doesn't bug me, man. The coach is going off and lost his mind. I mean, it says more about the coach than it does about the kid.
Yeah, I've seen coaches yell. I've been a part of a player being yelled at as being that player. But his looked almost practiced and almost planned and almost fake. That's what I got out of it, because I have never felt that way about a coach yelling at a kid, but this one seemed almost rehearsed, and he just went. It just looked artificial, and that's what I didn't like about it.
The coach was scripted, you think?
He was planning. He was waiting for a moment, because he went on and on and on, and he kind of lost me on what he was trying to do, and I stayed more focused on what he was doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't get the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, I get, hey, that's, correction, blah, blah, blah. But here, and this is one of the things that you and I as coaches, we don't do, is we don't tear people down and destroy their self-esteem. I'll make the course corrections, but I want you to do better. It's like when your mom and dad were teaching you how to tie your shoe. They weren't yelling at you like, throw mama from the train. Oh, and you'll never amount to nothing, you Lord, blah, blah, yelling at you. You'll never amount to nothing. You can't tie your shoe, you big dumb. Like that, I don't get, that kind of, and we've talked about this before, man. Using that kind of tactic, you think that helps or hurts you in your relationship and getting the kid to move forward and to build? I mean, it hurts, man. They'd be like, hey, man, there goes the old man, blah. I mean, I just shut down. I disengage when somebody talks like that.
Yeah, and even though this might be an effective method for some, this one particular instance, I'm putting it out by itself. This is an outlier, because I've been a part of being yelled at, and I'm fine with that. I think there is a place for it. But this one, when you go back and look at the tape, this one seems slightly different.
A company that has happy employees will be more effective. A company that has employees that know how to deal with obstacles and problems will make more money. A company that gives their employees the tools to make those things happen is the company that turns to Andrew Wittman. Andrew has been teaching leadership, performance discipline, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, and mental toughness for almost 30 years. He's a veteran with combat experience in the Marines and experience as a police officer, federal agent, and security contractor for the State Department. His keynote speeches, half-day and full-day seminars are engaging, effective, and energizing. Your employees will leave feeling empowered. They'll learn how to foster better communication, build strong working relationships, develop crisis and conflict management skills, and more. Visit GetWarriorTough.com to read testimonials from people just like you. GetWarriorTough.com.